Hey guys, I just wanted to put a video together for anyone else who has long COVID, or who knows someone who has long COVID. I know it'll be of particular interest to the guys in the Facebook long COVID groups, so just wanted to kind of put something together with a timeline. If you see me looking up here every now and again, I just have a couple of notes just so I don't waffle on too long. So essentially, I'm 11 months now post COVID, and finally, I can confidently say that I'm fully back. I've done quite a few weights and calisthenics sessions over the last couple of weeks, and then I had a very, very easy, comfortable return to jiu-jitsu last night. I've done a couple of home kickboxing workouts, and I'm returning to the gym kickboxing session later on today as well. So there's been no relapses, no side effects of me updating, or I suppose increasing my workload as things progress. So for myself, I had COVID unbeknownst to myself in October of last year, and thought it was very tame effects. I thought it was some sort of sinus infection at the time, which then passed in a couple of days. Then 2-3 weeks after that, after a particularly heavy workout session, I was completely flat. I couldn't get out of bed the next day. And while I thought that might be, some sort of a strange, kind of just a weird day, that went on for months. So the physical side effects from me were kind of worst from months 1 to 4, where the way I'd explain it is, it's like you wake up and instead of your battery being charged 100% after sleeping, you're at 5% or 10%. So you need to then ratio out your day so that you're not spending your battery, or you have to go back to bed at lunchtime or whatever it may be. And just really debilitating. Like I know a lot of people kind of downplay it, especially in younger people. Like, look, how bad can it be? It's terrible. Like I've a now 3-year-old daughter, but 2-year-old at the time. If I picked her up for any length of time, that would be me fried for the rest of the day. And that continued on from October through to probably February, when the physical side started to lift. But in fairness, as bad as the physical stuff was, which was bad, like the brain fog is something you might hear from people. It's insane. So you might stare at a screen trying to read an email, and you'll have to read it 5, 6, 7 times before you understand what the point of it is. And it's just a fog and a cloud on your brain. It's just very bizarre. But thankfully that lifts as things go by as well. But as bad as the physical stuff was, the mental side was insane. So for myself, from probably March to May, my body was just stuck in this fight or flight mode. So everyone has moments of anxiety where, during a presentation, it might be, and your heart is racing and you have those butterflies. Just imagine that 24 hours a day, constantly in a loop. So this is what long COVID seems to do: is it attacks the autonomic nervous system and just sets it on high alert all the time. So after several weeks of trying to, just naturally get rid of it and, calm things down, do meditation, whatever it may be, I started doing a bit of therapy, so cognitive behavioral therapy, which helped somewhat for a few weeks. But then after chatting with a couple of people in the industry, they seemed to think that it was just a physical thing that was attacking the nervous system. So no matter how strong we are mentally, you just can't stop it. So I did bite the bullet in, I think, May, and went down the pharma route and took an SSRI. I think it's Prozac that I'm on its lowest dose, which I would have been very skeptical of previously, because I try and stay natural as much as possible. But within 10 days of starting that, the cloud was just gone. So that constant anxiety and fight or flight mode was just completely gone. And this seems to mirror back to what causes long COVID in the first place. So I think the theory that makes the most sense to me is the NAD theory by Dr. Aid Wenzel, a South African genius in my eyes at the moment. So he essentially and this is why it seems to affect people who train lots in particular. So I would have trained 5-6 days a week coming up to COVID. I have no pre-existing medical conditions. I've never had any issues. A couple of sinus infections once or twice a year. That's literally all I've ever had. So What seems to happen is for people who are overtrained or people who have pre-existing conditions will have a lower NAD level in their body. So NAD is your cell's energy source, and if that's low, it leaves you far more open to your body being attacked by these viruses, as it turns out, COVID in this case. So I'll link it below in this, but you will see there is a stack of vitamins that Dr. Wenzel recommends to kind of replenish this over time. So I started taking those in, I think, the end of December. And then within 2 months, my physical symptoms were almost all gone, apart from post-exercise fatigue, which I couldn't do exercise at that point. And then, look, I've continued it on to now, and it just seems to steadily increase and improve over time. So you'll see that there's maybe 5-6 vitamins, all natural stuff. It's nothing pharmaceutical at all. But the most important one is vitamin B3. So I definitely recommend you read into that and have a look if you're struggling with it, or if you have someone who else who's struggling with it. And then over the past, I suppose, 3 months since the SSRI kicked in and calmed down the anxiety side, I've been able to increase my walking load. So what I've been doing is I've been doing a walk, say 1 kilometer, built up to 2, 3, and now doing 5 kilometers. And then once I got to a 5 kilometer walk every day, I increased the time, or I improved the time each day. So that seemed to build up my kind of cardio base. But I'd still get days where I'd feel a little here or there, and I would feel like I'm going backwards again. So what I actually started doing there was, if it was a case that I didn't feel particularly tired, but it was just that I wasn't all there, I'd go out when I do a walk, and it would just blow the cobwebs off, and I'd be 100% better afterwards. So with that in mind, I then started increasing my calisthenics, started doing pull-ups, quite a lot of push-ups, just kind of body weight stuff here at home, and haven't had any relapse whatsoever from it. Did a workout 5 days ago that essentially mirrors what I would have done up to October last year. So my previous load, which is quite a lot of reps and high intensity. So my heart rate was up, averaging 140-ish, I think, at the time. And absolutely fine the next day. Same with jiu-jitsu, same with kickboxing. Kickboxing, you're talking about an average heart rate of 160 on a heavy bag session, and I haven't had any ill effects, thank God. So yeah, look, aside from that, the advices I would give, there's a few things that really helped me. Like obviously the NAD stack, those vitamins, definitely have a look at that. But just be wary of who you listen to the most. So obviously, look, there's going to be pessimists all along the way with every aspect of life. So with the Facebook groups, it's great because look, there's chances are you're the only person in your group of friends or family that has long COVID if you have it, because it's not hugely common, thankfully. So it's nice to be able to talk to people who are like-minded and are going through the same thing as you. So that side is great, but there's also a lot of negative pessimists in there who will catastrophize everything. So they might have a setback and they might be 7 months in and they'll be like, well, I see this guy recovered at 7 months though, so how come it's happened to me? This is lifelong. Obviously this is lifelong. And then you start thinking, okay, this is lifelong. Crap. And then that obviously worsens the anxiety. Like for myself, the thoughts of not being able to exercise and go back to kickboxing or jiu-jitsu would absolutely crush me. Because it's my only kind of hobby outside of family life that I thoroughly enjoy. So it's a huge part. So you just have to be careful who you listen to. Like I've been to the long COVID clinic here in Ireland, the Beacon Clinic, with a professor, Seamus Lannan. So he went through everything. He compared all of my data to, where he thinks it should be. I ran several tests, and essentially told me that between 10 and 12 months I should be back at where I am. And here I am at 11 months and I'm back. And high volume, high intensity exercise. Now, not just day-to-day stuff, which is grand for the past couple of months. Back fully. Also, Dr. Wenzel, I've had the pleasure of chatting to him a little bit through social media, and he is a very calming voice as well. So in days where I'd be feeling down and thinking, okay, I'm crashing here again, it kind of just gives you a little wake-up call and be like, look, get over it. Get your head out of the COVID space, focus on something, and just let your body rebuild. And that's essentially what's happening. Your body is rebuilding. It's resetting its immune system, resetting its nervous system. And look, in the majority of cases, there will be cases obviously where people had severe COVID at the start and they might have lung damage or they might have nerve damage or whatever it may be. But if the tests have ruled that out, which the majority of people will be clear of all of that damage, you will get there. You just have to be patient. You need to keep going with it, and just stay away from the negativity. Like, genuinely, that's huge in this. And other than that, just kind of try and be healthy. Like, I would have had a very healthy diet anyway previously. I've gone, I suppose, more extreme even now. Like, I'm just kind of going low GI diet. I tried a few different things. I'm in an autophagy group as well, which I'll post in, which I do find the olive oil helps. So for some reason, olive oil somehow speeds up the body's autophagy system, which generates, I suppose, a circulation. So if there's any viral debris in your body, it helps get the body get rid of it faster, which I do think has helped here and there, and does speed things along. Also, I find cold showers, for whatever reason, also help with the autophagy thing, and that seems to speed things along as well. If I'm feeling kind of down on energy in the middle of the day, if I go get a cold shower, I am 100% for the rest of the day. It's kind of odd. But look, that's essentially it. I wouldn't listen to just stay clear of the groups in the cases where you see negative things. Have your friends there. I have a couple of friends from the COVID groups on Facebook who I'll chat to separately. If you need to do that, do that. But just, don't do anything drastic. I see an awful lot of these alternative treatments being sprouted and laid out. Look, you can try stuff, but realistically, it's your body recovering, and you just need to give it the tools that it needs to do it. It's the vitamins, it's rest when you need it, but also not letting the cobwebs sit in your body. So when things start to pick up in your day-to-day stuff, around whatever, 7-8 months, whatever it is for yourself, it'll vary. It will vary. Don't be afraid to go out and walk and just get your body back. Like, it's in a state where for the past 10-11 months it's been doing nothing, so you are deconditioned. That was the toughest part for me for the first couple of weeks back, doing weight training. Just having to drop the sets so much, but now muscle memory is great, thankfully, and I'm essentially back to where I was pre long COVID, thankfully. So look, just stick at it, be positive. What I'll do actually, because I'll post on, I don't know, either Facebook or Instagram. I'll put a link in there somewhere, just in terms of my own recovery, just so you know that, look, I'm still ticking along, and I'll share my daily workouts on that, just so you can see. But there's several other cases you'll see where people have recovered, so it's just a case of getting back out there, staying positive, and just trusting the body to get back.